Dear viewers, thousands of years ago, Allah the Almighty had created this earth from Jinn. This creature made of fire was spread out in every corner of the earth. They ruled the seas, mountains, and plains. They were both good and evil. But then came a time when they went beyond the limits of their evil. They shed blood on the earth and created chaos. As a result, Allah sent an army of angels who killed these evil jinn and purified the earth. Among these jinn, there was one jinn who had the honor of living with the angels due to his worship and charity. His name was Iblis. He thought he was the best creature in the universe. But this superstition came to an end that day when Allah breathed his soul into a clay statue and created Adam. This was the moment when the first spark of jealousy ignited. Iblis refused to bow down to Adam. He came in arrogance and said, "I am made of fire and he is made of clay. I am better than him." This was the moment when such enmity began that would last until the day of judgment. Dear viewers, after Adam and Eve came to earth, the human race began. But Iblis did not forget his oath. After Adam, the crown of prophethood and guidance was placed on the head of his son, Hazrat Ashish. He was a pious prophet who showed humans the way of Allah. It is said that 50 scriptures were revealed to him, which contained all the principles of living. The generation of Hazrat Ashish continued on the path of piety, but on the other hand, there was the generation of Qabil, the son who killed his own brother out of jealousy. His children had strayed from the path of Allah. They were drowned in blood, dance songs and evil. And these were the people who became the easiest prey for Iblis. Iblis took on a human form and stepped into the tribe of Qabil. He taught them to make new instruments, incited them to worship fire, and made immorality common. He gradually poisoned their minds, so much so that they forgot the difference between good and evil. But on the other hand, such brave and honest people were being born in the generation of Hazrat Ashish, who were established on the religion of Allah. As time passed, the generations increased, and then came the period mentioned in the ancient books of history. This was the era of Hazrat Ashish's great-grandchildren, whose name was he was a great king, a great warrior, and a wise man. In the books of history, such as Allama ibn Kathir's al-Bidayah wal-Nihaya, it is mentioned that he was the first king in the world who established a proper city, built forts, and gave humans the form of an organized nation. He was not only a king, but also a guardian of the religion of Allah. His greatness was such that the people of Sarkish used to tremble at his name. Iblis, who had been misguiding people for centuries, saw that goodness was spreading because of Muhalil. And Iblis's influence was diminishing. Seeing this, he got upset. Now he felt that only whispers and misguidance would not work. He would have to do something big, something that had never happened before. According to historical books, Iblis decided that he would wage an open war against humans. A war in which he himself would lead his evil army. This was a very terrifying turn in human history. Iblis began to gather his enemies, devils, and villains. He created an army that was not only countless, but also extremely terrifying. Their goal was not only to bring down the government of Muhalil, but also to kill all those people who worshipped Allah from the ground. When Muhalil realized this growing danger, he was not afraid, because he knew that truth is always heavier than falsehood. He gathered his people and created a great army. This was the first proper army in history that was ready for the war between humans and the jinns. The battlefield looked like this. On one side was the army of humans, who had swords in their hands and faith in their hearts. And on the other side was the army of Iblis, which included strange-looking devils and terrifying jinns. When the war began, the ground shook. It is said that this battle was so tough that its example could not be found before it. The jinns were using their fire and strength. But Muhalil's army had such a power that no devil could compete with it. And that power was the power of faith. Muhalil fought the battle with great bravery and wisdom. He organized his army and retaliated against the attacks of the jinns. Allah's help was available. And as soon as he saw, the army of Iblis, which he considered unbeatable, began to fall apart. In that battle, Muhalal's army killed countless jinns and devils. This was the first time that humans proved that they are the caliphs of Allah and they can be more powerful than these female creatures. When Iblis saw his army being cut and killed, he left the battlefield and ran away. Behind him, some of his companions went to the mountains, islands and deserts to save their lives. This victory was not only Muhalal's victory, but it was the victory of all humanity. After that battle, peace was established on earth. Muhalal ruled for 40 years and humans progressed a lot during his reign. But this battle gives us a very important lesson that the devil is an open enemy of man and he can go to any extent to kill us. Dear friends, perhaps now this question is coming to your mind, that is it really possible? Can humans fight the jinns? Or can we see them? Because we have heard that the jinns can see us, but we can't see them. So friends, it is true that in normal circumstances, the jinns are out of our sight. But from Islamic history and authentic traditions, we know that sometimes demons and the jinns can appear in their real or some other form in front of humans, and humans can also compete with them. Let me tell you some such incidents which prove that the Battle of Muhalal is not a myth, but a reality. First of all, let's talk about Hazrat Umar Farooq. Humans were afraid of his bravery and courage. According to a tradition, before bringing Islam, Hazrat Umar faced a ghoul once. Ghouls are the type of jinns who live in desolation and are experts at changing their appearance. When that strange creature came in front of Hazrat Umar, then if he was a normal human, he would have died of fear. But he was Umar. He immediately drew his sword and attacked that ghoul and buried him there. Although on the basis of this incident, the Muhaddisin have said some words, but looking at the personality of Hazrat Umar, this does not seem to be a myth. This incident tells us that the jinns can take on a physical form and humans can even kill them. Dear friends, we should not read these stories and historical documents just to pass time, but we should learn a lesson from them. We should remember that our enemy is very old and deceitful, but our Lord is much more powerful than him. If we hold fast to Allah, then just as Muhalal defeated the army of Iblis, we can also make every attack of the devil a failure in our life. So dear friends, this was our today's video. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comment section. If you like the video and your faith has been rejuvenated, then do like and share the video and support us.